Drew, one player that we seem to be saying, okay, well, we're interested in signing a left-footed centre-back. No, we want a couple of midfielders. That seems to be like general consensus. And a left-footed centre-back seems to be the other one that there seems to be this general noise about. And it's always a player that I can't name. Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol? Yeah, something like that. The Croatian centre-back seems to be number one on everyone's list. And we've been linked to him pretty much every day from slightly different sources over the last couple of weeks. What do you think about getting in a left-footed centre-back? Because that's Van Dijk's position, but he's not going to be around forever. So is it sensible to build that replacement in now?
I think given what we've seen this season, that it does make sense. I think Matip hasn't had this. Maybe last year was a phenomenal year for Matip. This season has been a little shaky. Van Dijk injury, not been his best season. Gomez hasn't looked like he's been up to the task. Like Konate seems like the only one who, you'd reliably put on a long-term future. Van Dijk, obviously, but like you said, if we're looking at that point to offload Matip, which has been tossed around at the end of this season, we need to replace him. I don't know if Sepp Vandenberg's up to the task just yet. But Gvardiol, we'll go with that. Yeah. So I was impressed with him with Croatia, his time at RB Leipzig. He seems to have played well. I think the other names that we've kicked around in the chat, they've had like one season playing at their clubs at impressive season, whereas this guy's been around a couple of years. The Croatia experience is definitely impressive on his resume, and for me, his time at RB Leipzig, the fact that we kind of have that connection with them with Konate in terms of they didn't pull our pants down for Konate. I'm more along the lines to lean for someone like him or his transfer, because it seems like we could get a good deal for him, and he seems to fit the right bill for what we need moving forward. So I'd be happy with seeing him as a summer transfer. But again, midfield first.
No, Matty, Helior is pushing out Antonio Silva, Benfica. And Helior very rarely pushes out names. Obviously, Gvardiol's the other one that we've been hearing. Where are you on the new centre-back?
If you were asking me who I wanted, I'd say Gvardiol, only because I haven't seen Antonio Silva. So I'm just going with someone who I've seen. And he's very exciting. And he's a Liverpool fan. So the negotiations would be very, very easy. He said numerous times he wants to sign for us. But I do think we need a left-footed centre-back, to be honest, because Ibu's phenomenal in that right centre-back position. But Van Dijk hasn't been Van Dijk this season either. If he comes back from injury and finds his form again, great. But I do think we do need to plan for the future. I hope Van Dijk doesn't go anywhere, but whoever comes in that position is going to learn from the best modern-day centre-back the game's ever seen, in my opinion. So it's not going to do any damage to the longevity of Liverpool because they're learning from these players. That's why I think like Gakpo maybe, that's why I was saying giving Bobby a new deal couldn't be a bad idea, because someone like Gakpo could learn off what Bobby can do. So I'd be happy to see someone come in left centre-back. But like Kev said before, want midfield sorted. I don't care about any other position for the midfield, because we've probably got about 4 midfielders to the club at the end of the year.
We are about to lose, Kev, probably. Keita, Milner, Ox. I think they're the 3 main midfielders that are about to go out. Now, the main ones that we're linked with are Bellingham, Nunes, Matheus Nunes. Obviously, Pajak's come through might mitigate a sort of need for us. Is there anyone else that you've seen that we've been heavily linked to from the central midfielder perspective?
Casado. I'd also like us, although I'm 100% certain we'll sign Bellingham, I still think there needs to be a plan in case we don't get him for whatever reason. Now, I can't see it myself, but you do need, even how confident you are in business, you probably know yourself, James, you always need a plan B just in case it all goes belly up. So I would like us to have another backup to that, and that for me would have to be Barella. I would love to see him. I'd love to see Chiesa play for us as well. 2 top Italian young players who I think could do a decent job for us and provide us what we are actually missing. But it is a step down from a Bellingham if we do go to a plan B. And this is a once in a lifetime. I think the Dortmund director, the same man, said that, you get 10 years out of him. You know what I mean? You don't have to. You build around Bellingham. You don't bring a Bellingham in and not build a team around him. That's why I think it rules out certain clubs and certain strategies that certain clubs in the Premier League have started going down, and that's why it's not much of an attraction to him. Whereas at Liverpool, we will build something around them for the future, and then that's where you then be able to make the little things that we have done in centre back positions and all like that. Make by 20, 30 million, keep it flowing and through and refreshing it. That's how you refresh it around your main players, which are integral. So for me, Casido, I'd like to see, but the money for him is probably going to be a bit too much. But anyone else do you think of, James? Or
I think what's bugging me is I'm not seeing a really good central defensive midfielder. Like, you've got Nunes, you've got Bellingham, and they're really good box-to-box players, but there isn't that level of defensive intelligence. And what we've noticed with Fab being off is it just carved open the centre of our defence because we play so high.
I honestly think Bajcetic is the starting central defensive midfielder after Fab.
I agree, but I think you need another one.
Yeah, but if he's that good, you get someone who's average then, wouldn't you? Someone who's going to cost 10, 15 million who can just help cover.
Do you not think he'll have a dip? And we need someone of decent quality to come in?
I've been watching him for like a year and a half now, haven't I? And he's not dipped yet. I know it's in academy football and in first team, but him and Ben Doak, if you go back on streams, I was saying this season they're going to get in the team. And he's fantastic. He's unbelievable. Yes, and he's learning from the likes of Thiago and that. And I don't think we need to worry about the central defensive midfielder option at the minute. Because I do think Fab will find his form again. He was excellent against Everton. But that form can still be found for Fab. And then Bajcetic cover Fab. And then once Fab goes and Bajcetic is the start on one, then you bring probably blood and another youngster through. You've got a good few midfielders coming through the academy who are very, very talented footballers. But Bajcetic is just levels above them, to be honest. But I think he'll be starting for us. I mean, I know I don't like to see kids playing all the time, but I think that if Fab finds his form, then Bajcetic is going to be able to learn off him. And he was fantastic in an 8. I think that's only the second time or first time he's ever played that position, that 8.
Before he was centre-back, wasn't he?
Before centre-back, yeah. And then he played a year or so in the academy, like the kids, as a centre-back. And then he went to the under-18s, played a few games with them as a centre-back. And in a minute, he went to the 21s. They put him straight into the older midfielder, and he's excellent. He really is excellent.
So for you, Drew, 2 central midfielders, left-footed centre-back, clear out of the contracts expiring. Would that be a good summer for you? Is that what you're expecting?
That would fit the bar. I think if you do that, we've got enough around the team to see how it goes forward, make any adjustments in January, maybe keep a little in reserve for that to see how the team spans out. But 2 midfielders at least coming in and top quality midfielders. I'd almost want like Bellingham and Barella or like a Frankie de Jong. No, he's got Man United links, but 2 players of that quality who come in straight into the team or at least are pushing for right into the team. But that for me is absolute must. I don't even know what would happen if we didn't buy a midfielder, but I think it's past that where we all know that's happening. So we'll see who we pick out, but it's got to be top quality. And then, anything after that for me is a bonus.